Hey people, what's going on? Got a really fun one for you today. We're going to be doing a classic old school pocket watch design. I'm going to be doing this on the iPad Pro, and the app I'm using is called Procreate. You can do this on paper, you can use pencils, markers, paints, whatever you guys want to use, just copy what I do on here, on there. So like I said, this is iPad Pro, this is Procreate. Just got an A4 bit of paper on here, and I've got 4 different layers. I've got sketching, color, shading, line work. Basically, if done on paper as well, same principle. We're going to start with sketching, so we're going to do a basic sketch. And then we're going to go up to the top, we're going to go to do line work over the top, then we're going to do shading, then we're going to do colour. It's just the way you kind of want everything to kind of sit above and sit below. It just makes it really nice to do. So we're going to start off on the sketching. I'm just going to use a sketching technical pencil, so it's going to look like this. I'm going to use reds, so like sketching with reds, but if done on paper, just use a normal colour pencil because red is hard to rub out. So I'm going to start off with a circle. I'm going to draw a circle, click it down, so you get that perfect circle like this. You know, if you've got a compass at home, compass is a really good thing to use. You know, just gets it nice and accurate. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna draw around this again. Just trace roughly over this line, like this. I'm gonna hold down, I'm gonna have a second layer. It's gonna go roughly around there. So you've got another little circle just inside that. I'm gonna do another little circle just inside that as well. So again, I'm just gonna draw over the top of this. I'm gonna click, so it gets circled. I'm gonna just kind of drag it down a touch, just like this. So we have these 3 perfect lines, making these 3 different kind of circles. The idea is it's basically outside of the pocket watch, so you kind of sort of shape everything up nicely. And then what I'm going to do down here is going to bring a line. Well, so line, I'm going to bring a little circle just around here. Again. Click it, I'm going to drag this right down to the center, just so we get the exact center point for the circle. You know, if you've been using a compass on paper, the little mark you left in the center, that'll be the center, so just go from that. I'm going to draw a line up here like so. Make sure you're doing this fairly lightly. It's all basic sort of sketching. It's nothing permanent at this stage. So you're going to do a line up, a line across, just so we can divide into 4. And once you divide into 4, we want to mark out 2 even sort of sections here. So it's roughly like the same gap in between each one of these. So we're going to go 1 there, 1 there, 1 there, 1 there, 1 there, 1 there. And then just get your line, cut across, like so. Just go through the center point to the edge. We're basically just dividing into 12. That's pretty much what we're doing here. Oops. If it goes a bit crazy, just double tap and go back a sec. So I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna go there. So we divide it into nice 12 sections. And then what I'm gonna do is just go around this. I'm gonna do a little dot just on each one of these, about the same distance away from those circles. Just going to mark out our 12 points. And just makes a nice little feature on it as well. And now we're done, I'm going to have this is number 12 up here, and this is going to be number 1. So I'm going to have 12. I always find it's best to start with 12, because then you can get your numbers kind of in line. You can do the Roman numerals. I'm not doing the Roman numerals, so I'm going to do the actual numbers. So I've got 12, and then I'm going to go 1. And because this is like, you know, the 2 that we want to get perfectly in line with this line, and then the other is I'm going to kind of mimic the sort of like rough sort of shape and direction. So again, I'm just going to go 1, and then we're going to go 2, 3, and just keep putting these around. Try to keep them roughly about the same sort of rough size if you can. 5, 6, 7. With 8, I just find to go around a few times and you kind of get the right sort of rough size, and then when we do the pen, we can kind of make it nice and accurate. 9, 10, and lastly 11 can go there. So we've got our numbers plotted in there now. And so it's going to start putting everything all over little details. So at the top here, if you come through from the 12 at the top, we're going to have the little kind of ring connection bit at the top. So I'm going to create this little curve that's going to come over like this. I'm going to create another one, then I'm going to create another one that's going to be slightly bigger and a bit more kind of oval shaped. Kind of like so. And then from this, we're going to have another circle. It's going to kind of fit around this kind of space. Just going to mark this in like this. You can get either oval shape or sort of circle. I'm going to go for a bit kind of oval, actually I quite like that. And just get another little line to the inside bit, so that can go on the top there. Let's get that nice down the center, so we've got the rough size we want. And now we've got this done. It's the basic principle for the main parts of the pocket watch, and then we can add the extras. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get a little circle just here. Just gonna mark some little lines inside this, just like a little kind of sort of second kind of thing. A little line just there. So we've got that little detail bit just there. And you can add another circle around here if you want, or other details. You can put a little kind of word here if you want. I'm not going to do that, so I'm going to mark in a time. I'm going to say 2 o'clock. Now the time you put could always be like, you know, sort of a child's birth time, anything like that, whatever's kind of significant to you really. So I'm going to have the big hand, which is going to go up towards the 12. So I'm going to have this dead straight line coming like this. It's going to come past this circle, a little bit on this side. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring this little curve down this way. Little curve this way. Another curve like that. Another curve like that. And then on this bottom bit, I'm just going to have a little circle just here. You can put any kind of little details you want. You can put a little line if you want. You know, just kind of customize it and make your own, any sort of little shape you want. So you've got 12 o'clock and I want to be born, say, at 2 o'clock. So I'm going to bring this line this way, put it number 2. I'm going to make this slightly different. So I'm going to bring these lines coming like this. And make this one almost kind of like an arrow. A bit like a diamond tip on the end, I think. I like to get creative with the handles, just kind of make them kind of nice, kind of looking shapes. And once we've got that done, I'm going to sketch in a rough banner. Now, if you've got a time like this where it's up here, you can have this banner a little bit further up if you want to cut through letters. But if your time is going to point to any one of these bottom ones, make sure your banner doesn't quite cover those ones, or maybe have the banner the other side. Obviously, like I said, if you're born at say 6 o'clock and you're putting banner here, you're going to cover up the hands, so you're not going to see what you're doing properly. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to sketch the shape out here. So it's going to curve across like this, come across this way. So you've got this kind of S curve, just like this. And I'm going to do another S curve, just mimicking the exact same shape. You can come there. That's just going to loop around on the inside like that. And you're going to create this little V shape on the outside, just here. Just to sort of show where it kind of ends. On this side, we're going to curve this around. And again, just have a little V shape just there. Just kind of show where that bit there ends. And now we've got this done, you want to think about extras and our background bits. So I want to have a little chain coming off of this. So I'm going to have these circles coming off this way, curving down, going behind that. And I think I want to have a flower that's going to sit, you know, be in this area, and one that's going to be in this area. So what I'm going to start off with is just get a little circle for the beginning bit, just for the center. Just going to go around that. I'm going to drag one out just so you kind of get a rough sort of, you know, exact sort of measurement of a circle around it. Now don't worry about being 100% precise, you ain't got to be 100% precise, just get it roughly really. From here I'm going to go up. I'm going to divide this into 5, so I'm going to go 1, say 2, 3, 4, 5. So try and get it so the gap in between these is roughly about the same kind of length on each base. So that space is there. It's roughly about the same. And once you've got it done, you're roughly from the center point, just do a line going outwards from the center point to those edges. And that should be roughly about right. So yeah, I said that's roughly about right. It's not 100% accurate, but I said, it's perfectly fine. It doesn't have to be 100% accurate. It's going to bring little lines coming up from the center of these, just coming a little bit past the line. Just so I know where the center point is. I'm going to have a little bit further just there. And then what I'm going to do for each one of these, I'm going to bring this line up. When it gets to here, I'm going to curve out. I'm going to curve up quite high, curving over that line, curving down, and joining back up to that line. I'm going to do that for each one of these. So the same principle, we're going to curve out, curve up high, curve down, curve into that. Curve out, curve up, curve down, like so. And just repeat until you got all of them done. Now you can do more petals if you want, 5's just like a nice even number for it. And don't worry about going over this, just draw over this for now. We're going to be rubbing it out, but it just kind of helps to get nice and accurate if you kind of just sort of sketch over it as if it wasn't there. So you see now you've got this nice kind of even size kind of flower. And just on the inside part here, I'm going to bring a little line, just flicking down the center of them. And a little circle just on the end of each line. Roughly about the same kind of height. Like so. And then just a few little outside leaves on the outside edge, so I'm going to bring a line curving out like this, and then curving back and inwards, trying to get a nice kind of evenness on both sides. Just sketch it a few times until you kind of feel like it's right. I'm going to add a second one, just coming off of this one. Just there. And I think I'm going to add a third one just over here. It just kind of helps broaden out the design, just kind of get a nice bit of sort of shape to it. You know, if you're trying to fit in between other tattoos and stuff like that, or, you know, if you just want to kind of fit in the design, you can use those to kind of fill in the gaps. And then what we'll do is just kind of copy this one and put it over the other side. Now you can redraw, it's still the exact same thing we just done there. I'm just going to click on that, so just sketch over that. I'm going to click copy, and I'm going to click paste. Now what we'll do, I'm just going to click down here. You've got flip horizontal, so just flips it the other side. Now it's a handy little shortcut you can do with your tablets, you know, it's when you do it digitally. Once you got it done, just going to rub out just a little bit where it kind of overlaps into the pocket watch. So you see you've got this nice pocket watch, you've got these two nice flowers, and we've got a banner. So I'm just going to put a name on the banner now, so I'm just going to think of a name. Let's go for, I don't know the guy's name last time, I done Sophia, let's go for Jackson. So I'm going to bring in another line inside this banner, keeping the same distance apart, but fairly close to the line. Same on the top, just cut them around like this. And what's going to help me do is get my sizing right, so I want to get all the letters the exact same size. So I want to, you know, go from this line to this line. You know, that's going to be the low point and the high point. Jackson is Jackson, so that's 7. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to mark out the middle bit. So just here, and that's where my middle letter is going to go. So I'm going to have one there, then I'm going to have 3 letters on each side. So I'm going to do 2 lines around there. And I'm going to try and space it out evenly. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So you've got 7 rough sections there. Just make sure we've got that right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep. So now we've got that done, we can sketch in the letters now. So we'll start off with J. So I'm going to put Jackson. Just go for a J. And I'm going to go for A. You can do it any how you want, you know, just kind of get your own nice kind of letter in. I'm just going to go like this. Little line on the top, bottom just there. So we've got A, and then we're going to have C. So I'm going to bring a line like this, I'm going to curve this around. If you've got letters like M and stuff like that, they're a little bit wider. You may want to leave a little bit more space for those because they're a bit wider than the usual kind of characters. But all these are roughly about the same size because they're the same kind of principal kind of letters. J. K. Then S, I'm going to do very similar to the C, just curve it around in the middle. So I'm going to start that little line just there, curve that around, come to there. So you've got a nice even curve to it. The O, I'm going to start off around here, I'm going to curve this around. And as I loop around here, I'm going to curve this around and make a nice little loop in the center, just like this. And then the N, 2 lines going up. A line cutting across. And little lines just at the top parts there. So we have Jackson in there. So now we've got that all done. I'm going to go over the top on the line work now, and I'm just going to put in with black. So I'm going to select this. I'm going to use calligraphy. I always like calligraphy. I'm going to use monoline because it gets a nice even line. It's like this. You know, it's nice even. It's not too thin. It's not too bold. So I'm going to go over everything and just leave out the bits we don't need. Now, obviously, where this banner goes over the top, so I'm not going to do that pocket watch under the bottom bit. You know, any bits that kind of overlap in areas you don't want to do. Obviously, you want to leave out your sketch lines. And just make sure you do it on the top work on the line work layer. So let's go over everything we've done. I'm going to start off with, let's start off with the banner bit. So I'm going to curve around here. Curve that around there. Do that bit there, because that bit sits in front. That's the most forward front, you know, piece. You know, sometimes it's easier to do those bits first and then keep going back to the bits that kind of sit behind it. Again, I'm just going to sketch over this circle. As long as you sort of trace over on the digital one, you can just go across like this and then hold it, and it corrects it. It's a little bit of a cheat, but but the way I see it, it's no different from using a compass on paper. If you want to get this perfect on paper, you like using a compass. It's the same kind of principle, really. So it doesn't really bother me. Again, just go around that third line, down the center. So I've got those in there, so that's those bits. Get these curves in here. Let's get these curves over here. Get me a ball shape in this one. A little bit too far away there. Sketch these in myself actually, makes it a bit easier. I'm going to come down, get these parts here just behind this pocket watch now. So I can go there. Now it's up to you if you want this band to sit in front of this flower or behind it. I think I'm going to have it in front of it just because that's why I kind of sketched it out. But it's perfectly fine to go either way. It could be in front or behind, to be honest. I wouldn't sort of say it's going to be better either kind of way. It's just both look pretty cool. Let's get around there. So let's get these leaves in here now. A bit more room actually, just a little bit. There we go. Just keep building these up one by one. Just keep them coming like that. Just like so. This other flower in here now. Then we go on to the bit I normally dread, and that's the lettering. I don't know why I can sort of do lettering in that, but it's the one thing I never feel too comfortable doing, so. I think I'd much rather draw like a 100% realistic portrait than do lettering. I think I feel more comfortable doing that for some reason. I don't know why. Probably because I've always generally done normal drawing. I don't normally do too much lettering, to be honest. Maybe I need to do lettering a bit more to get more comfortable with it. So again, just curve this out, curve that down. Curve that bit in there. Curve that one in there. So I'm going to put Jackson, and then we're going to do the digits on the inside. So this line coming down here. J. The A. The C. Always before doing lettering as well, just triple check your letters and just make sure you spell everything correctly. You'd be surprised how often people make mistakes with lettering. Spelling in Pacific. There we go, so we've got Jackson in there. So now let's get these inner clock bits. Dodge. There we go. Now the numbers. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And let's get this circle in here. So it's around there. So that's all the line we're done. So now we've got it done, we can get rid of the sketching layers. So I'm just going to turn those off. Obviously, doing it on paper, just rub them out. You don't need those now, because now we have a nice and pretty looking pocket watch, all nicely set up for us. So I'm going to click on this, I'm going to click on a layer, so this little drop down menu comes up, and I'm going to click the one that says reference. Now the reason I've done that now, when I use the selection tool up here, I click on this, and I click automatic down here. So it's already, you should have freehand normally selected, so click automatic, and now when you select, it should select areas within the line works. Now it's just going to make life a lot easier when it comes to shading. You know, obviously doing it on paper, don't worry about that, just kind of sort of draw the color shades where I do those. You know, but yeah, here we go. So click on this and make sure you drag across and you see selection threshold and just drag it until it's up until like, say about 95%. If you don't have that, then what it's going to do is going to leave this really annoying like white edge around your shading, which you don't want. Again, you're doing it on paper, you haven't got to worry about that. So I'm going to select off this little area just here first. I'm going to use the spray paint tool, medium nozzle. I really like this one. Just going to bring a bit of black across there. A bit of black there, a bit of black there. Then I'm going to select the other one. And what you want to do, you can put like a little bit just here in the corner if you want, but you ideally want to put the black in a different area this time. See, like here. So I'm going to put a little bit around there and a little bit around there. So it's a different section to where it is on the inner part. And it just helps create like a nice kind of inverted kind of shine, especially when you put the colour in. So these little areas just around here. I'm going to shrink this down a touch. Just put a little bit of black just kind of where it sits behind areas, just there, there and there. I'm not going to worry about those little parts just inside there. I'm going to stack these little back bits just here. I'm going to go black from the edge inwards. I'm going to stack these outside petals just here. I want to get some black just coming in from the bottom parts, just like so. So you see the shadings will come quite nicely in here now. So I'm going to go down, I'm going to go to colour now. You know, because a fair bit of sort of shading and stuff I'm going to do with colour rather than doing it with the thingy. What do you call it? Mine's going blank. Without the black. Sorry, I don't know why my way went blank there for a sec. So I'm going to use yellow here. I've got this nice golden yellow. I'm going to bring it across and leave a little highlights in the centre. So just once you go off the black, just leave a little highlight in the centre bits. Same across that top section just there. And just there. I mean, you can do this a different colour than that. I just think like the gold always looks really nice. Select these areas for now. And what I'm going to do is going to colour those in. I'm going to erase. I'm going to use the spray paint tool. Just erase a little bit, just so I've got a little highlight there. But what I want to do is get like a little kind of sort of bit, just I want to get a little ball. Just on that section just there. Maybe a little bit just there. I'm also going to have it in these balls when I do these. So I'm going to select these bits, put those in, and again either raise or just use a white over the top. So I'm going to put a little highlight just in the top right hand corner of each one of those. Just creates a nice little shine effect. Now it's just dead simple, but it just looks really effective. Now I've got it done, I'm going to select these leaves. I'm going to go for my reds. And what I'm going to fade around the bottom bit like this. Just go around the circle and get this nice fade out towards that edge. Just like that. Real simple, but really effective way of doing it. Now you can do it the opposite way around as well. You know, if you want, you could always go, you know, around the edge, coming backwards. It's always a nice, really cool way of doing it. You know, it hasn't got necessarily be the same. You know, I might do that for this one, just kind of do that. You know, it looks quite nice in comparison. Select those center parts. I'm gonna do those yellow as well, I think. Select these outside leaf areas. To get me a nice kind of sort of foresty kind of green. Just colour those in, like so. Gonna get my banner, and now for my banner, I want like a sort of nice sort of brownish kind of parchmenty tone. So I'm gonna start off with a lighter one first, and then use a bit darker on the outside. So I'm gonna come in from the edge like this, and I'm gonna just fade it towards the centre. Nothing crazy. Do the same bits on these outside sections just here, just on this under part. I'm going to select it again. I'm going to select a darker one now, so I'm going to use a darker red, just for the edges, just get around those corners. You know, it just gives like a nice sense of curvature to it, which I quite like. And again, same here, just a little bit, just a tiny bit in those corners, just like so. These background bits here, I'm just going to use, I think, a purplish tone. Just there and there. Select the center part now. Just make sure you select all the kind of white areas in this section. I'm going to go for this kind of baby blue, but I'm going to make it a little bit more grey. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to be doing a bit of raising here, so if you're drawing on paper, don't sort of colour the whole thing in yet. I'm going to get this nice kind of blue tone coming this way. Bit of blue coming from this side. Very kind of fun, you don't want too strong a blue really. And then I'm going to go erase. Make it as nice and small. Pass it up. I'm going to raise this part just here. And then this one I'm going to kind of flick down, coming like this. So you see we're kind of making this line coming down, it's going to eventually kind of fade to nothing. Just kind of like that. And then if you want, you can do another little line to the bottom bit. Haven't got it, it's just one thing you can do as well. Just kind of give it a sense of like sort of shine to it. Just makes it look nice, pretty much. So now I'm just going to select the background bits. Just going to go back to my black. Going to turn the transparency down. I just want to get a little bit of black in the background. Nothing crazy. Just a little bit of black, just kind of sitting behind the areas. Kind of like that. You know, and one other little thing which I might do, which I quite like to do, I'm going to go back to the calligraphy line. And I'm going to go over the top of here. Where we've done that initial line to sort of measure up the letter in, I'm going to do this line across. So you want to keep out the same sort of gap away from that edge. All the way around there. Bottom section. Just bring that across. You can do it on the rest of the banner as well if you want, just around here and here. Just here and here. I don't do any overturn bits because that obviously sits behind it, so it wouldn't be on that side of it. But there we have, people. That's how you draw a nice, cool looking old school compass. I hope you like it. You know, if you do, make sure you give it a like. You know, it really helps these videos out. You know, if you're new to my channel, make sure you click subscribe. Now, I've got new videos coming out. I generally do about sort of 3-4 videos a week. I generally do it every sort of 2 days. But yeah, I hope that helps people. And I'll see you next time. Or check out the videos up here. You've got some cool videos, you know, click on one of those ones. Yeah, go on. Click on one of those videos. I'll see you next time.